What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Mini Trades back with another YouTube video, and this is super value packed. In this video, I'm going to be going over supply and demand and how to actually use these concepts in trading. I'm going to show you guys real examples, how I traded it, and how I gave it to my team. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. So, INVO today had a 80% move from my old supply, which would be new demand level, and I want to show you guys why I found that key level, right? So, INVO into open had a massive move, right? If we look at the chart here, we can see we have a high here, a lower high, eventually a lower high again, and then breakout of that structure, right? So we break the structure, pull back, and then make that move up. So this was the market structure break, right? We broke this previous high instead of rejecting here, which showed us some strength, right? So which made that move up. Now that we know we're in an uptrend, what we're going to look for is an uptrend signal or an uptrend line, right? So that's what we have. But you guys can see into open, we did not hit it, right? We did not hit it. And then after we broke this, right, we cracked below and kind of went to bed, right? Made a little pop and went to bed. Okay, so how do you know that this 1.9 or how this level came into play? So let's go to the daily chart, right? When you're looking at these stock plays, obviously, we want to catch the biggest move of the day, right? We want to hold for our, we want to hold our positions and we want to maximize on profits as much as possible. So the best way to do that is from trading supply to demand or demand to supply, right? From zone to zone, from level to level, right? And you can scale off on the way up, but level to level trading is the best way to actually hold your trades and make bigger money. So let's check it out. You guys can see on INVO into open 190. So let's see why I held. Okay, this was from pre-market analysis when I'm on live, so you guys can check those out. So first thing you guys see, let's zoom out a little bit and kind of get a bigger picture here. All right, so what's going on here on the daily chart? Forget this, right? This wasn't even here. We have this consolidation, right? Manipulation and an expansion, right? We have a pop, consolidate, manipulate, and then expand down. So the candle that started expanding us, right, before this whole move is going to be called a supply zone, right? This area is supply. This is where massive sellers are sitting because this caused the whole move down, okay? That's a massive move, all the way from 190 to freaking 82, right? So we mark this level out as a key level, right? Because if we break over this, we break over massive supply, all that liquidity is taken out now. All those orders are taken out. We are now shifting trend, right? Market structure break like we talked about earlier. This is going to break the structure on the daily. So we're going to be looking for 176 to break and become support, and 190 to break and become support, and 219 to break and become support, right? The key levels we're using 176 is because of the massive drawdown. Same thing here, 190. This is the candle before the massive drawdown, right? And then the final candle before the massive drawdown, okay? So 3 candles before the massive drawdowns. Initial first drawdown here, second drawdown, or initial candle for drawdown here, and then just a little bit of room to add into this zone, right? So this is going to be our add zone. So on the intraday chart, what we want to see is a breakout of 176, pull back into this zone, right? Because this was supply, we are now looking to flip into demand, okay? So we're going to flip into demand, get that soak, break through 190, old supply, remember old supply, which means old sellers sitting here. So once we break them, we take all their liquidity, okay? Now we're going to pull back into that, grab some stop losses, move to 219, okay? Once we pull back into that, once again, we broke over this level, right? Once we break over this level, we pull back into it and go up, right? Because all that liquidity is taken out. So that's what we want to see. Right now, we're assuming that the market has not opened or we have no levels. We're just looking at the daily. All right, so now we're going to go back into it and see how it played out. Let me delete that. Okay, so you guys can see what we wanted to see. Breakout of 176, right? Exactly what we wanted to see. Breakout of 176, pull back into it. Or sorry, hold up. We're going to see breakout of 176, pull back into it, break out of 190, pull back into it, or go to 219, pull back into it. Okay? That's what we wanted to see. And you guys can see we didn't get the 179 pullback. We did not get that. But same concept here. After we broke out the 190, we ended up getting the 190 pullback. And that's why you have multiple key levels, because you don't know which one's going to hit, right? So you have them out, you have them marked out, and you look at the volume, you look at the tape, and you look at the market structure. So into open, if this is the level, then you take it off this level. Into open, if we open here, right, at this level, then we would take the dip at 170. Does that make sense? So if we were at 170, we take this dip, but instead we were over at 190, so we take that dip. If we were over 219, we would have taken the 219 dip. That makes sense? So each level is valid for the dip buy. Okay? Now, you guys see the second opportunity was right here as well. After we broke 219, we pulled back into it. You guys see that? So same thing. Break 190, pull back into it, break out. Break out, pull back into 219, break out. Right? So look at our daily key levels. Every single level that we have from supply zone is respecting, okay? And then for price targets, you're going to use the high volume candle right here. This is where all liquidity is sitting. Previous liquidity. Every time it gets here, you're going to either sell or you're going to go short. Every time it gets there. Every time it gets here, you either sell your position from 190 and 219, right? So from 190, your first PT would be 220. Beautiful trade. After it breaks out, you buy the pullback at 220 all the way to 312, which is almost $1 move on the stock. And if you're holding from level to level, this is what gives you conviction, right? This is what gives you conviction. You're like, okay, I've added at 219. My PT from high volume candle on the daily is sitting at 303. I'm just going to hold. I'll scale some off at high of day, but overall, I'm looking to hold my core for a bigger move, right? So let's just say even if you have 1,000 shares, which means you're putting in $2,000, you're making 1,000 on that whole move, at least 800, 700. All you need is that one trade a day. That's all you need, instead of taking 10, 15 different trades. Now let's take a look at WISA. All right, what happened on WISA? So before the massive move on WISA, I took it here. I made a recap video on it, so you guys can go check that out as well. It's on YouTube after this video. So I caught it here for that massive move up. Now you guys can see on WISA, what's the same thing we look for? Intraday, we had that supply zone. The move, the wick that made the massive move down. Massive move down. You don't see this intraday usually. That's what I was explaining in the video as well. You don't see these moves intraday. Especially if you see them, you don't see a recovery. You don't see it break. What you usually see is something like this. You get the move down, and then you come back up, grab liquidity, and reject all the way back down. That's what you see. But there's so much strength in which we broke out. All right, you guys can see we broke out. Now the pullbacks into this level, which is old supply, are the best entries. All right, so you guys see old supply. Right, old supply right here. We dumped. We break out. Pull back into the old supply. Make it new demand and rip. That makes sense? I hope that makes sense to everyone. So if you guys understand this, make sure you guys drop a like. Subscribe for more videos like this. I will see you guys on the pre-market webinars on YouTube live streams, 8:45 Central, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. If you guys want to trade with me live every single day like we caught INVO for a massive move, make sure you guys check out the link in the bio. We have a 7-day free trial going out right now. Make sure you guys drop a thumbs up. Peace.